Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It is Mother's Day in the UK and not Mother's Day in many other places as far as I'm aware, but if you are in the UK, a very happy Mother's Day to you. And of course we saw a lovely photo of the Princess of Wales taken by the Prince of Wales. She's seated with her arms around her children. It was a beautiful photo. She looks well, even if she's sitting down, and maybe you can read a little bit of awkwardness and a little bit of discomfort into that, but there she is. Children look wonderful. They look very happy, very healthy, very well. So it hopefully has put a lot of rumors to rest, and it also succeeded in knocking Meghan Markle off the front page of the Daily Mail, where she had sat for almost the entire weekend. And yes, I had plans to do some other kinds of readings today, but when I woke up and saw the display on the front page of the Daily Mail about her stunt, and I call it a stunt because in my opinion it is, with the family of a woman, a teacher who was killed in that appalling incident at the school in Texas in Uvalde. I was horrified, as most other people were who saw the stunt. I'm going to keep calling it a stunt because it turned out that the person who seems to have organized this with Meghan Markle, John somebody or other, whose aunt was the woman who died very tragically, he turns out to be a long-standing member of the Sussex squad. So Meghan of course showed up in Uvalde in the wake of the awful shooting there, and there was very heavily criticized by people for allegedly exploiting the situation. She seems to be trying in this visit to Texas to silence those critics, as she's been trying to silence the people who have accused her of bullying. She tried that on the panel, the Women's Day panel with Brooke Shields and everyone else. I'm going to have a look at this situation because a lot of people are asking the question of what is it going to take to stop Meghan Markle from doing this. She has been relentless recently. Started with the Invictus Games, the year ahead thing in Canada, and it has just gone on and on and on. The level of possible delusion is off the charts. The level of need for fuel and attention is off the charts, in my opinion. The exploitation of the situation where a lot of senior royals are out of action is off the charts also, in my opinion. I am using the Pulp Tarot for this reading. It's, in my opinion, a fitting tarot deck for what's going on. Of course, it is the Oscars weekend this weekend, and so she might have needed some sort of diversion, get her fuel fix in before the real celebrities, the real stars appear in LA later today. So that might also be what's going on. But let's just do a Celtic cross and let's have a look at this situation from her point of view, and why all of this, and will it ever stop? How she felt the weekend went for herself. As I say, does seem to have been a stunt with this young guy. He seems to be a bit of an Omid Scobie. You can read into that what you will. According to his X account, he is a member of the squad. He has copyright of the photos that were released to the press. He is the one who released this event. Meghan arriving with a birthday cake for his mother, and all about me again. But we want to see how she felt that all went, how she feels about Catherine knocking her off the front page, and so on and so on. Celtic cross. I'm sorry it's not the reading I say that I wanted to do. We will get there when the energy is right. But this weekend in Texas really was just too much for a lot of people, myself included, and I'm sure the royals also. I'm sure they quite enjoyed releasing that photo, that strategic moment, and knocking her off the top of the Daily Mail. I would have enjoyed it if I had been them. And let's remind you, because we're dealing with who we are dealing with, that this is just tarot, of course, for fun and entertainment. It is all my opinion. It is all speculation. And I just read energy here. Oops, oops, oops. Not trying to fudge the cards. And disclaimer in the box below. Let's see what the cards want to tell us. Queen of Cups. That's our underlying energy. That's what she's trying to portray herself as this weekend. She's trying to reposition herself, rebrand herself as somebody who's kind and gentle, a mother figure, maternal, except she called it mammalian, which caused great hilarity, talking about her mammalian instincts instead of her maternal instincts at that panel discussion in Texas, in Austin, Texas. So there it is, her mammalian instincts showing there in the Queen of Cups, trying to be relatable, trying to come across as the Princess Di thing. So sweet, so kind. Tears of joy were shed at this birthday party, according to the headlines in the Daily Mail. And such tears of joy as they copyrighted the photos and released them through a Sussex squad member on X. But there it is. She's trying to do her Diana 2 impression to persuade us all, and including the royal family, that she's just lovely, she's nurturing and kind and gentle, and everybody loves her. And let's see. That's the underlying energy, of course. Situation that she's finding herself in. Knight of Swords in reverse. And this situation is, of course, the clapback. Famously, we do love a clapback when we're doing these royal readings and we find ourselves in Montecito or wherever it is that she now lives. We don't know. But the Knight of Swords is clapping back. When it's in reverse at all the people who have said nasty things about her and said she's a bully and she has hounded poor Princess of Wales, she and her flying monkeys and all the rest of it. As I say, the first visit to Uvalde caused quite a stir among people who felt that she was exploiting the situation, taking advantage of it. She's clapping back with that Knight of Swords, quite viciously, quite intentionally. She had referenced people who have been bullying her and during her alleged pregnancies, and she's also made a point of showing that this is an ongoing relationship with this particular family who have been affected by this tragedy in Uvalde, and so on and so on. So ginormous amounts of clapback there with that Knight of Swords in reverse, in my opinion. What is her problem right now? Her problem is the Four of Wands. Her problem is that she is trying to outshine the royal family. That's one of the things that the Four of Wands tells me. But it's also all these celebrations that are going on. It's awards season in the United States, and she's not part of it. She's now missing out on the huge big one this evening. And there is no way that she can pretend that she was invited and I had to turn it down because one of the children was unwell and all the rest of that. She's pulled that stunt. But it's very clear that she's persona non grata at these awards, and I think the time has come where people won't allow her to pretend that she's been invited to hand over Best Picture award or whatever it is that she's pretended before she was in the running for. It's now clear that she is out. The Four of Wands is about celebrations, as you can see. So huge celebrations going on. The real stars are being celebrated, if you believe that. I gave up watching the Oscars years ago, I have to say, and even though the movie business is very close to my heart, I just don't feel it anymore, and I haven't for a long time. I look for my stars elsewhere these days, but she still wants to be in that in crowd and she isn't. That's her problem right now, and that's why she's out pulling these stunts. In my opinion, they are stunts to persuade us that she really is this darling Diana 2 person. What is the motive? What's behind this all? Why is she doing this? 5 of Wands is because she's so competitive. She's relentless in her desire to dominate and climb the greasy pole. Tom Bauer. Sorry about the sun on the table. It's just this time of year where the sun just catches it, and if I pull the blinds too close, it's just unpleasantly dark where I'm doing this now. But the 5 of Wands is infighting, is competition, struggling for dominance, and that's her. She really can't be ousted or dominated by anyone else. She wants to dominate. This is my personal opinion. It's not an expert opinion at all, but that's what the energy is coming through as for me in this reading. And so this is somebody who can't just sit quietly and allow someone else to shine. It's not possible for her to do that. It would go so much better for her if she did. If she was generous, if she congratulated other people for their achievements sincerely, if she gave them the space to grow and thrive and encouraged them, it would go so much better for her in her own soul and also as far as the public were concerned. But she doesn't get that. She's just terribly driven, terribly competitive, terribly ambitious, and she doesn't mind who she elbows out the way on her climb up that greasy pole. So what is her goal with all of these stunts that she's pulling? Ooh, the devil. Oh dear, the devil. I don't think she wants to be devilish. I don't think she wants to come across as toxic and all the things that the devil represents just generally in tarot. Toxicity, addiction, obsession. I don't think she wants to appear that way, but that is really what is fueling this, is this obsessive need to dominate. She wants to control. I think the thing about the devil is that the devil controls. The energy of the devil, whether through addiction or obsession or fear or rage or lies or trickery or whatever else the tricks the devil has or attributes the devil has. It is about controlling, and that is why traditionally in tarot you have 2 people who are chained to the devil and they're stuck there. She really wants to dominate and control. She wants to control the narrative. She wants to control people's perception of her. She wants to be this darling, this dear, sweet thing. But that actually is what is coming through. And that's interesting because this is her unconscious drive and this is her conscious goal. So at some level, she has an awareness of how obsessed she is, but it's something that she herself, I think, cannot control. It tends into the territory, and I'm not diagnosing, I'm not an expert, but it tends into disorders or even illness, that kind of behavior. It's scary, and that's why I'm doing this reading today, because people are genuinely concerned about this level of obsession, this behavior that she repeats, even though the rewards are so small. A few thousand people watched that thing on South by Southwest, that panel, whereas millions of people immediately went to Instagram and viewed the photo that was posted there by the Prince of Wales, by Kensington Palace, and liked it. I went online and liked it. I felt that it was something that I needed to do, and I'm sure many of you watching this also went and did that to show your support for the Wales family. Anyway, how does she feel that this past weekend went? Was it worth the effort? The moon. We have the old wolf howling at the moon, and the moon is your fears, your shadows, your doubts, your secrets. It's also a little bit cray-cray, the moon. of course, lunacy, howling at the moon, all of that stuff doesn't come across as healthy energy. We have the moon in this reading and the devil. And both of those are very difficult energy because they are dark, confused. The devil energy is deceptive energy. The moon energy is confusing energy, doubtful energy. I'm asking how she felt the weekend went. And I don't think she is very satisfied with how it went. I think she really was driven to do it. I feel that she was having to face fears when she did it. Fears that were quite revealed on that panel discussion. There were little quips back at her. I think Brooke Shields came up with some. She was going on about how she had, I don't know what, she felt that she'd been exploited at the age of 11 doing whatever. I can't remember what it was. And Brooke Shields came back and said, well, I was playing a prostitute in a movie at age 11. Things like that. I think she was afraid, she was intimidated, she felt out of her comfort zone, and I think that's why we had Harry being dragged around with her, and also Marcus Anderson, and we are going to look at that in the next reading. So she brought her moral support along with her because she, the feminist that she is, didn't feel able to handle these events on her own. Seemingly she had her own people taking photos and doing a lot of photoshopping. If you scrutinize some of those photos, this is a tremendous insecurity with the moon that is coming across. Insecurity and obsession, they don't bode well. My opinion as a tarot reader, reading energy, of course, for entertainment purposes only. How did she feel? We're going into future energy, but not future as in real future. How did she feel today, having done all of this, put all this effort in and possibly spent quite a bit of money organizing all of this, courtesy of Archewell? How did she feel future energy, in inverted commas, when that photo was dropped by Kensington Palace and she disappeared from view? 10 of Cups is the is quite a strange energy to come through because it's the happy ever after card. It's the look how wonderful everything is. It's perfect. It's the happy families card. It's a little bit too happy. It's a little bit plasticky, saccharine. I think she looked at it and thought it's just they're pretending. It's not real. And immediately the flying monkeys were out and saying, oh, she's not wearing her ring, and you know, it's a fake and it's AI generated and it's photoshopped, and where's William and all the rest of it. The flying monkeys were out immediately doubting the authenticity of the photo, and I think that's shown for me energetically in that 10 of Cups. And a lot of people saying, well, of course she's not wearing her ring, she's probably swollen hands from whatever medication she's going on, surgery she's had and all the rest of it. So it's pretty obvious to a normal person who has been through this kind of thing themselves. But immediately the doubts, it's all, they're protesting too much, they're showing too much, they're claiming that it's a happy situation there in Adelaide Cottage, but really it's not. So how does she view herself in this relentless drive for fame and fortune? We have the Hermit in reverse. This is Harry being useless, first of all, because he is the Hermit. He's the Virgo, and it's so he has failed. And this is why he's being dragged around with Marcus Anderson, seemingly keeping a watchful eye. That's we're going to find out the energy between them in the next reading, as I've already said. But I think she feels that Harry has let her down. He was supposed to get them the half in, half out thing. He went on that plane trip back to the UK to plead their case and failed. And so this is why she is out doing all of this stuff. The Hermit in reverse is somebody who's come in from the cold. They've come back from being outcast. And so she feels that the burden is all hers now because he's failed. And I can imagine that he's been given a hell of a speech. And he probably gets given the speech every day. It's all on my shoulders. I have to do it all. This is why I'm so thin. And how hard am I working? And all you're doing is playing computer games and smoking weed and hanging out with whoever you hang out with while I'm doing everything. And I'm the one that has to go out and earn a living now. You useless whatever, whatever. That's all sitting for me in the energy of that Hermit card in reverse. So victimhood, something like that in that card for me. I'm getting quite a lot of anger in that card as well, of begrudgment, that she has to be the one that goes out into the world to do these things. She is not comfortable in public with that moon card. She really isn't good at doing this. She's out of her comfort zone when she's going into places like she was in with that family situation and gurning at the cameras. She's awkward. She was awkward on that panel discussion as well. That's my opinion, of course. Let's see what pressure she's under right now. Queen of Pentacles, Catherine. Catherine's back. She hoped like crazy that Catherine was gone forever. And there was energy, and I read that energy, that Catherine was gone at some level and obviously went through her own extremely dark time. But I can imagine that some of the energy that I was tapping into doing those readings, and I know that other readers were picking up similar energy, was actually some of this projection coming from there onto Catherine. And the situation around the Waleses. But the Queen of Pentacles is, of course, Catherine the Capricorn. She's back. She's there. She's looking lovely. She's got her family around her. She's adored. As I say, the numbers of people who were going and responding so positively to that photo were quite incredible, actually, compared with the meager numbers that Meghan has managed to muster, for instance, on her attempt at coming back to Instagram. So that is the pressure she's under, competing with that Queen of Pentacles. She's trying to position herself as Queen of Cups to undermine that Queen of Pentacles, but coming from this devilish mindset. Scary again, and as I say, that's why I'm doing this reading, because the energy worries me, hopes and fears for Meghan Markle with all of this obsessive behavior. And we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. She is hoping that she can get herself out of this position that she has got herself into, this trap that she has got herself into with her own machinations, leaving the royal family, abusing the royal family on Oprah and on the documentary, and never retracting any of it, never coming out and saying it wasn't Catherine, it wasn't Charles the racist, taking any of that back. She has created this situation for herself. She is hoping that she can extricate herself from this situation. But the thing with the Eight of Swords is that it's a mental construct. It's not necessarily real. There is always a way out of the Eight of Swords if you just have the vision and the imagination, the creativity, the mental creativity to get out of it. It's also fear that keeps you trapped, and fear is showing up as the moon energy as well. She's very afraid in herself. She doesn't have her own sense of self that's strong enough to make her courageous and confident and able to interact with people at a genuine level. She doesn't know who she is. That is my opinion of her. That's my personal opinion. So how's it going to go? What is going to stop her? Is it ever going to stop? This relentless push for fame, for popularity, is it ever going to stop? We're going to, it's interesting, Five of Swords. I think it is going to stop. She's going to find herself in so much conflict, surrounded by so much conflict, that it's going to be impossible for her to continue this game. The PR people are going to fall by the wayside. They already seem to. A lot of speculation that the William Morris agency has dumped her. A lot of speculation that the person in the UK is a fictitious person, or somebody very low grade who's taken this thing on just because, you never know, might boost their reputation at some stage. But Really, she's on a losing wicket with that Five of Swords. That whatever she does and however hard she fights, and she is going to fight, we have the Five of Wands down here and the Five of Swords. So however much she competes and she argues and she resists whatever is going on, she's going to be swept away at some stage by all of this conflict. The Five of Swords is a card of change that comes through being difficult, being obstreperous, and it's not going to go well for her ultimately, because she's just going to be seen as trouble. And so even if she carries on fighting, and I'm getting a bit of that vision, that Monty Python skit where the knight is standing there and his arm is cut off and his leg and his other arm and whatever. I'm getting that feeling with her, that bit by bit, limb by limb, things are being cut off and she's bleeding, she's hemorrhaging at the stage where she's defiantly standing there. She is going to fall over, because you can't keep standing up in that Five of Swords energy. It has its own seeds of destruction in it. We've got a way to go with that Five of Swords. I would say it's not going to happen instantaneously, but it's well on the way, because she's so stuck in this pattern of behavior, the devil patterns of behavior, obsessive patterns of behavior that are destructive, that she doesn't know a way out. She's hoping, Eight of Swords in reverse, that she can find a way out. But the cards are telling me, the universe is telling me through the cards, that she's going to lose. Even if she looks like she's winning at certain stages, while she's pulling these stunts, in my opinion, ultimately she is losing. That's your reading. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.